Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am coming at you today with this month's installment of my top 5. And y'all, I feel like we're almost done. Like after this, I think I have primers, and I don't think I'm going to do my mascaras again because those haven't really changed. And then my cream shadows haven't really changed, so I feel like we just have primers. I am going to add one more at the end, but then it's like even my update's over with. Where is my life going? I don't know, but I am excited about this one because I'm going to talk about my top 5 favorite eyeshadow palettes. As always, I like to tell you what my 5 favorites were the last time I uploaded this video, and you know what? I haven't even checked. So, let me see. Lorac Unzipped palette, Lorac Unzipped Gold palette, Zoeva Cocoa Blend palette, Tarte Pro palette, and Persona Identity palette. There is only one that is still in my top 5. It's not to say I don't still love those. I still love them. I still have them. But the Lorac palettes live in my kit, and the Tarte Pro palette goes in between my kit. So I don't really use those that much on myself anymore. So that's why they're not included in my top 5s, because I just don't reach for them. So the top 5s are when I talk about the ones that I reach for the most. If I had to give up all the rest of my stuff, these are the ones that I would hope to keep. And they're just the ones that I would recommend the most to you because they're my favorites. I have done 6 because I have one that is self-made, and I didn't want to include that in the top 5 because obviously you can't just go out to Ulta or Sephora and buy that particular palette, but it is a favorite, so I'll show you that as well. And I actually cannot say that I have a favorite. I have 2 favorites that are seriously tied, and I thought long and hard about it, and I can't say that I like one more than the other. So I am going to start out, in no particular order until I get to those 2. But I think first I'll show you my self-made palette. And I got this actual palette from Sydney Grace Company, and it's huge. I mean, it's huge. I don't have a palette this big anywhere else. It says Feather River Body. I don't know if that's like the name of the company that makes the palettes, I would assume. But this is what's in it. So this holds 63 eyeshadows perfectly. I will say the magnet on this is not that strong. So if you only want to put a few, you may have them pop out. But I feel like because I've got them all in there, they kind of keep each other in there together. And this is the bulk, and it's not all, because I do have separate like small quad palettes that I like to keep separate so I can travel with them, but it's the bulk of my Makeup Geek and Anastasia Beverly Hills shadows. This is the palette that, like, if I really don't have a clue what I want to do, I'm just going to pull this out and figure it out as I go, because I don't really need anything else in here. It has a black, it has a white, it has shimmers, it has foils, it has a ton of mattes. And like I said, I just wanted to mention this because I know y'all can't go out and buy it, but I do want to point out my favorite colors within this. I do have 3 right down here that are actually from Sydney Grace. I bought those when I purchased the palette. But if I had to pick out some of my very favorites, obviously the ones that I have hit pan on, which are Anastasia Beverly Hills Birkin, Dusty Rose, and Bone. And then Nylon is up here because I used to use that all the time in my inner quarter. Now I use the Persona Cosmetics highlight every single day. But those are some of my favorites. This one I believe is Latte from Makeup Geek. My favorite foils for Makeup Geek are Grandstand, which is right up here, and Magic Act, which is the pretty gold. And then of course Pink Champagne. If there's one eye look that I will forever, like, no matter when I wear it, where I wear it, who I'm around, if I'm on video, if I'm not on video, I always get compliments on, is Pink Champagne on the lid and a mixture of Morocco and Sienna, which are these 2 colors right here, in the crease. Hands down every single time. So this is not one that I would travel with because it's so mondo huge, but I do have like the Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow quads that I will pick and choose colors from that to whatever, suit my fancy for wherever I'm traveling and whoever I'm going to be with and just whatever I'm feeling like. And I will pick and choose from that and travel with those. I mean, like I said, I know you can't go buy it, but I had to mention it because it is a favorite of mine. Now, let's get into the actual favorites. Like I said, I only have 1 repeat from last time. I'm not going to go in any particular order. I'm just going to start with what's on top, and it's the smallest one in the collection, and it is Dose of Colors Baked Browns. Okay, let me tell you real quick, because I know this is probably going to be long like all the rest of my videos, what I look for in an eyeshadow palette. I am not somebody who goes and says, I will not buy that eyeshadow palette if I cannot get a full look out of it. Now, is that like an added bonus to eyeshadow palettes that I find where you can get a full look out of it? Of course, but it's not going to sway my decision one way or the other. I know some people are die hard. If it doesn't have a black, they're not buying it. If it doesn't have a brow bone color, they're not buying it. I mean, I can respect that, and to some degree I understand it, but I would miss out on a ton of good palettes if I did that. So know that going in. That's not something that I think about. I have done an entire eye look with this palette, and I believe I used every single color. But this is an all matte palette. I'm pretty sure everybody has seen it. If I can get it to focus. This camera is really playing me lately. So, I mean, it's earthy brown colors, and really, if I want to have a look that looks sophisticated, not like I'm trying too hard, but still really put together, I reach for this palette. I will often travel with this because of the size and just stick a couple individual shimmer shades, because I do have quite a few of those in my travel bag, and I'll be good to go because I really personally don't need anything other than this. I don't go much darker myself than this brown, so it's completely fine. And I feel like this is like the perfect professional work palette. Like, if I had a job where I went in 9 to 5 and I needed to make sure that my makeup was appropriate and not full on smoky eye every day or glitter or shimmer or whatever, this is the palette that I would recommend and go for over and over and over again. It's absolutely wonderful. I do have the Marvelous Mauves. I do want the Sassy Siennas, but I think overall, I'm pretty sure that would still be my absolute favorite out of all of them. The next one is also an all matte palette, and probably going to come as no surprise to anyone who's been watching my channel because I've talked about it so many times, but it's the Too Faced Just Peachy Matte Palette. Y'all, I can't even tell you my love for this palette. It looks like when you first open it, because there's, and it's not coming across on camera, but when you first open it, there's like a bright cranberry shade and a bright peach shade, and some people who aren't as well versed in different kinds of makeup, like somebody who's new to makeup, I guess I should say, might look at this and be scared, but I'm telling you, please don't be scared. They're very soft. I'm not saying they're not pigmented, but they're very soft in application, which I've heard has been a negative from some people. I don't find that to be a negative at all, especially with some of these colors. This color right here, Peach Sangria, I had this all over my lid in, what was it? Was that my Beauty Brand Superstars video? And I had so many people comment on my eye look because honestly, if you have blue eyes, that color is going to be your best friend. Obviously, you have all the neutrals you will ever need. Again, it doesn't have a black, but this chocolate dipped is, I mean, over here in the corner, that's darker than I'll ever need. You can mix really well, so you can lighten them up or darken them up depending on, you know, the effect you want for the eyeshadow. You can easily do that. So hands down, I mean, you need this palette. Yes, it smells like peaches. Does it need to smell like peaches? No. I've talked before about this collection and really Too Faced in general. It's very juvenile in their packaging. And it does, I will say it does turn me off to a lot of their products, but this one, it could have like a unicorn horn coming out of it in 3D and I would still buy it again. It's wonderful. The next one I'm going to talk about is the newest one to my collection, but I have used it in a video, so you may or may not have seen it in action, but it is by Glow Skin Beauty. I have a couple of these and I really want all of them. This one is the Velvets. Now this is the one I got after the Mixed Metals. The Mixed Metals I also like too, but there's a reason that I like this one more. So if you see, hopefully that's in focus. You have two matte shades right here, which I appreciate are the bigger shades in the palette because this one is a perfect transition code? What am I thinking? Transition color. What am I thinking about that made me say code? And then this one is great to mix in and make something lighter or as a matte brow bone highlight or an all over color to set your concealer. It's just a nice color for those purposes. And then you have two more matte colors, right here, and right here, and then the 4 shimmers. So it's 8 shades, and they're equally matched matte and shimmer, which I appreciate. My love for this palette comes from the actual shimmers being so wearable. There's a really pretty gold, which I think every palette should have because it's one of my favorite colors to wear on the lid. This gorgeous taupe color, a beautiful copper color, and then this one is almost like I say it's a shimmer, it's like a satin matte, so it's the darkest color in the palette. This color though, and I said that in the video where I used it, is so gorgeous. I don't know what it is about that color, but it's so gorgeous. I just love burgundies again on blue eyes. But obviously I love the color selection. Another thing I love so much about this is it does have a really good mirror. It's nice compact size, so you're not excessively overpacking if you want to travel with this. But the formulation is what really makes it stand out. It's a Glow Skin Beauty is like a mineral makeup line, and so I don't know what it is about these. They're so soft and they're so blendable, but they don't have a ton of kick up, and they're just really workable. They're easy. So again, if you don't want to think a lot about doing your eyeshadow, I highly recommend all of these. Well, the mixed metals in this one, because those are the only ones I've tried, but this one especially. So the velvets from Glow Skin Beauty, I absolutely adore. And now we are down to the top 2 palettes in my favorites, and really and honestly, I can't pick between these two. I just can't. The first one is the only one that's going to be a repeat from last year, and it was my favorite last year, and it's because I didn't have this other palette that I'm going to talk about yet, but it still holds that top spot for me, and it's the Persona Identity palette. So Persona Cosmetics, started by Sona Gasparian here on YouTube. I bought this when it first launched. Then they ended up sending me one, so I put one in my kit because literally I will go in phases where I will use this palette on every single client that I work on. I don't care if they're like the natural of naturalies, what is that? If they really like natural makeup, or if they want super glam. This has it all. It is absolutely stunning. Again, it has a very even number, so it's got 12 shadows total, but it's got 6 mattes and 6 shimmers, and it's well loved. It's dirty, it's chunked out. Like, I use this palette so much. The only complaint that I had when I first talked about this being my favorite last year was the fact that I feel like this Charming color right here is still a little bit dark for transition, but you can easily mix that with Humble and it lightens it up perfectly. Audacious is gorgeous. It's a nice warm color. You've got the purple. You've got a really dark Fearless. I mean, that's as dark brown as you can get until you get black. So I like to use this color a lot as eyeliner. This Bombshell color, oh my goodness, this Bombshell color. Do you see that? It is the most beautiful green shimmer gorgeousness. Seductive is another one of my favorites. See that? It's a nice taupe. Oh, it's absolutely beautiful. I'm really going to try to swatch all of these palettes, so hopefully I've been inserting those pictures. But really and truly, it's got pretty much everything you would need. Sassy is a gorgeous inner corner highlight and brow bone highlight, and Goddess is beautiful. It's a gorgeous brown, bronzy, reddish undertone color. I really like to use those on that color on Mother's of the Bride because it just, there's something about it that really makes their eyes pop, and sometimes as we age, our eyes are less poppy. So we kind of want to make them pop a little bit more. Absolutely wonderful. The price point is amazing. I just saw on Trend Mood the other day where they are coming out with something else. It looks like an eyeshadow palette, but I don't know. It could be a face palette. I adore their highlighters. I have Zuma on today. It just really and truly, they can do no wrong in my book. Now, the other one that is tied with Persona Cosmetics is actually what I have on my eyes today, and it is the Beautycounter Ultimate Nudes palette. Y'all probably could have guessed this because I feel like I haven't been able to shut up about it since I first got it. This came out as a holiday release in 2017. I purchased it from a friend of mine. I fell so hardcore in love with it. I bought more stuff from the line. I fell so hardcore in love with the more stuff that I bought from the line that I actually signed up to be a consultant, which if you know me from Eve, you know That doesn't come easy. I have to really appreciate your products and your mission to do that. But this was the catalyst of it all. Talk about well loved. This palette is so well loved. What do I even say about this palette? I've done an entire video, so I will link it in a card. I'm not going to go over a ton. In fact, I don't even know that I'll swatch this one because it's got so many colors, and I did swatch it in that other video. But it does have 18 shades, lots of product in each pan, and it's got an even split of shimmer and mattes. So it's got everything you need, and they're sectioned off into rows that would make perfect all-together looks. Today I have on Sienna. Let's see if I can. I have on Sienna. I have on, I don't know, the copper I think is the color. I have on Cashmere. And I have on these two dark ones. What else do I have on? And then I mix soft peach and eggshell to kind of soften my crease. This is the palette. I don't put this in my kit because I don't want anything to happen to it. I love it that much. This is the palette that when I have makeup lessons, because I do quite a bit of those, and they will come to this room in my house to get those done. And this is the one that I pull out for the makeup lessons because it's something I know that if you are coming for a makeup lesson, you're not that well versed in makeup. And you're not going to want to get a palette that you don't know what to do with. Because this is laid out like it is, because it has half shimmer and half matte, and because honestly you can get every look you ever want out of this palette, it's the one that I use for makeup lessons the most, and it's the one that they end up purchasing the most after those lessons because they love how easy it is to use. Because the way I do like half the face and then they do the other half the face, so they can feel how easy it is to use. I can't. And I'm not just telling you this, I have to say, I'm not just telling you this because I'm a consultant. You can go on beautycounter.com and order this without a consultant. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with the fact that it's an absolutely gorgeous product. I have two of their other limited edition palettes. I absolutely adore the shadows and blushes in those. I actually have a blush on from the Ocean Pacific palette today. Really and truly, just follow them on Instagram or something. Keep up to date because whenever they launch a palette, you're going to want to get it. I'm just saying. You're going to want to get it. And this one does come with a double-sided brush. I have never used it, so I can't speak to that. I'm not big on using the brushes that come with the palettes. So that wraps up my very long favorite eyeshadow palettes updated top 5. As always, in these update videos, I love to know what your very favorite is for whatever topic we're talking about. So be sure and leave me your very favorite eyeshadow palette down in the comments below. And if you have any other questions, be sure and subscribe and like before you leave and hit that notification bell because apparently that's the thing that you have to do now if you want to see videos on YouTube. So thank you so much for watching. As always, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day.